Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and our trip down memory lane. This episode, we are going to be starting the main scenario quest for patch 2.3, otherwise titled Defenders of Eorzea. Just a reminder to everyone, I am doing this through my main character, Chris Valentine, via New Game Plus. I am doing this as Meteor's job in the promotional trailer, hence I am running as Warrior. I am doing all instances as solo or through duty support, with the exception of normal raids, alliance raids, and duties that do not support it. And finally, I am wearing quest or patch item level appropriate gear. So, I am still wearing my knocked gear from last patch, which is the best in slot as we speak, and I'm glamored it to the Warrior's gear, which I still have somewhere in my armory chest. So, where we left off is we had defeated Leviathan. Yugiri is now in Limsa teaching the secret fraternity at Limsa the ways of her art. But unfortunately, not all news is good news. There has been news from the students of Baldessian that the Isle of Val, the headquarters of the students, has completely disappeared. So, more questions than answers. But again, this is just a side-by-side to see what quests have changed in the 10 years since A Realm Reborn released. So, we are going to continue our little escapades now with episode 71, The Great Divide, and move on to the self-same quest. Let's get to it. Our friends. The very isle itself. Everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Acelia? I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Uldar this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Acelia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Chris, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Before we continue, because I think we're just... Yep. All right, I do want to talk about one quick thing, and we're going to switch to scene 4 to talk about this. Or, no, scene 3, because this is where we're going to talk about one very special subject, and that is between 2.4, 2.2, and 2.3, there was a patch in between where Mordona was updated. And through some various research, I happen to have a tab here that shows what Revenant's Toll looked like. So, let's have a look-see at what Mordona looked like back in the day. This comes to us from Imgur, or user on Imgur. So yeah, thanks to the Domans, Mordona changed a lot in the intervening time frame, with the entrance turning from various boxes and stone land to kind of a verdant field, almost reminiscent of 1.0 Mordona. This is this is actually what it used to look like back in 2.2 before the 2.28 update. An entrance in the stairs leading up in Mordona's House of Splendors started getting construction, and of course more towers around the Seventh Heaven area. Returning to the entrance area, benches were put in near around the entryway, and this whole wall was constructed at the entry point between Kurthus and Mordona. There was also a back area constructed behind the tombstone vendors. There was more construction added to the road to Camp Revenant's Toll, as well as some NPC scouts. The beginning of an aqueduct above a bridge, or an aqueduct, started right here in the middle of town. Here's how the whole thing looked in the distant past, and how it looked after the Domans arrived. Yeah. So yeah, this was how it progressed in a realm reborn. And of course there were a few other additional add-ons, but we don't have to cover those. All right. That being said, let us continue on our journey. I miss 30-second sprint speeds, or 30-second sprint recast. Where? Oh, there it is. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work. Same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done.
Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation.
Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Uldar for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one we got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. And don't pretend to be clever, but I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I know we had to run, and the only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll! I mean, you took them foreigners in, did you? So you surely do the same for us.
I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been afflicted by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request.
But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us?
If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Uldar, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone.
That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got.
My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions.
How can you be so blind?
Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Chris!
All right. All right, back to the Adventurers Guild. All right, now we're side by side. Oh, whoops.
Sizes with the other Grand companies.
I
By the time
forgot
they
to...
return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
I forgot I hadn't, Alright, let's continue. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. Oh yeah, the Make It Rain campaign is going on. Now is not a good time, Chris. My hands are full with dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already? You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgians. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, not before unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Danlan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions in the between the Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. Would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning soon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without the necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Chris. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents.
Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Alright. You look as though you have something to say, Chris. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Alright, Lost Hope is near Blackbrush Station, if I recall correctly. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Leofric? I didn't expect them to send you, Chris. I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Zaza Walker's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zaza Walker. He will explain everything. Zawaka? Don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! Wait, I know your face. Are you not the man from the Church of Saint Adama Landama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic's spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does! Okay. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here. With me. Here to soothe me. Why? Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Okay. Need to soothe. Who are you? What do you want? It's true, I followed the merchant. May the gods strike me down for my folly.
What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought, and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us off into 2 groups, set us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh God, it's the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Alright, let's do one more quest before we take a break. Or not. Alright, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with more. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided to get you where you need to go. We will see you in a bit.